How would you react to the decision by the Kenyan Parliament last week to call an emergency session to discuss the withdrawal of the country from the Rome Statute and ultimately the ICC?
I think the decision is unfortunate from the point of view of the search for justice for victims of post-election violence.
But Kenya has a reformed judiciary now, and so the country has the capacity to try the cases here at home.
Well, while it is true that there has been some level of judicial reform, we should not forget that the judiciary is not the be-all and end-all in the search for accountability. In our system, which is a common law system, judges sit in court and wait for cases to be brought before them. These cases must be properly investigated by the police, and then they must be prosecuted by the Director of Public Prosecutions. If the two, the police and the Director of Public Prosecutions, do not do their job, we can have the best judiciary in the world, headed by the best person in the world, but there will be nothing coming out of it because there is no political will to prosecute.
Kenya has the backing of the African Union, which has termed the court as racist and targeting Africa. Do you agree with the African Union?
I do not agree. First of all, to accuse the ICC of being racist because all the cases currently in the court are from Africa is to be dishonest, because we need to break this down. The countries that are currently facing cases in the ICC are Kenya, Uganda, the DRC, the Central African Republic, the Republic of Mali, and Sudan and Libya. Out of those cases, Uganda, the DRC, and the Central African Republic, and Cote d'Ivoire, and Mali have all been referred to the ICC by the governments of those countries themselves. In the case of Libya and Sudan, those cases have been referred to the United Nations by the United Nations Security Council, according to the Rome Statute. Kenya is an even more special country, because we must remind ourselves that it is the AU that appointed Kofi Annan and his team who set in motion, the process that they set in motion after the post-election violence is the one that led us to the ICC. So it is the AU that indirectly referred the Kenyan cases to the ICC. And so for the same AU to go back and say this is a European court and it is racist, it is being economical with the truth.
Having a sitting president being tried at an international court is a first. How would you describe Uhuru's challenge?
To be honest with you, that should not be a Kenyan problem. That is his personal problem. And if at any point he or the deputy president feel they are not able to discharge their first obligation, which is to the people of Kenya, due to their personal problems at The Hague, they should step down and let somebody else carry on the work of governing this country according to the law.
As a person who's fighting for transition.
What is the likelihood of these cases tearing the country apart?
The bigger cost to think about is the cost that this country will pay, the price that this country would pay if we go on with the culture of people being allowed to do whatever they like, to shed innocent blood in search for power and nothing being done, because impunity ultimately costs the country its very soul. So even though William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta are innocent until proved guilty, it is in the long-term interests of Kenya that this process is seen through to the logical conclusion, where there is either an acquittal or a conviction by a court of law. Because if we stop it halfway, for reasons other than lawful reasons, then this country will have sent a message to its own citizens that whenever you feel aggrieved or whenever you want something that somebody else has and you can't get it in a rightful way, you pick up a machete and chop off their head. And that will cost this country its very fabric in the end.